Battlemasters, Chaos Thug Archers.
Scruffy Crow. That is some nerdy shit right there, buddy. I like that.
Okay, so these guys finally arrived. We've got 2 bases of Battlemasters Chaos Thug Archers. And the guy included all the bases. We've got some cards. I've never played Battlemasters, so I don't know what all that stuff would be for. Some tokens. No flags though. I think they should have had flags with them originally, which I was thinking maybe I could reuse or turn into banners. So I've already been peeling these guys off, and they're actually coming off quite easy out of these bases. Now these models have seen better days. I think they're a bit grubby, so I'm going to have to give them a wash really before we do anything with them. Got no use for these, but I'm certainly not going to throw them away. I'll just put them to one side and maybe one day they'll come in handy. So yeah, along with the cards, so just put them somewhere. For the most part, the details are the same across the whole models, and they're fairly crisp. I think they're going to paint up quite nicely. There's some quite sizable mould lines that we're going to have to deal with. But one of the things I have noticed is a massive variation in how the faces have come out. So we've come from this one that's come out quite nicely, I think with a bit of paint. It's going to look pretty cool. Down to this guy, who has sort of seen better days. Hopefully once they're painted I can kind of infer some of those details and tidy that up a little bit. Okay, they've had a rinse now. So one thing we're going to do with these guys is because I'm using them for Warlords of Aeron, they're going to make 2 units of 4 archers with a sergeant. So I'm going to do some conversions to try and make the sergeant stand out a little bit. I had a route through my main bits box and came up with some parts here. Well, for a couple of projects. But we'll see if some of these would be relevant. And then we've got some goblin bows here. Now I thought it's a bit weird. These guys don't have arrows in the ground. They've not got quivers on or anything like that. And I was looking at these goblin bows. Thought they're a little bit small. That's all I had. But because I wanted to do a good job on these guys, I did actually do something I don't often do. And I went to eBay to buy more bits. And I found a seller selling these for acceptably cheap. And these are off the old Night Goblin Spear, I believe. And we've got some quivers covered in fur. Some with a little skull on, I think will go quite well. And there's just one that's tied up. And this is the first time I've got these quivers next to these models. And I was thinking hip quivers. Actually, I think that's going to work quite well. Mould lines. Just going to go around, and each one of them's got a fairly hefty mould line running the entire circumference of the model. So I'm just going to sit here and carve these away. Just as a random aside, if I ever did need to wanted to play Battlemasters or get these guys based up for that game, they do fit as a unit of 5 on these bases on the little sheet. So I could make some little inserts, for instance, and get these to sit in there quite nicely. Probably never happen, but it's nice to know. Okay, we've got 9 guys on bases. 1 guy not stuck on a base who's missing a head. And this is the one with the second worst face. So I am committed to doing a head swap. At least 1, if not 2. So I'm going to go and try and find some heads. Okay, another super kick forage. Turned up these heads I've had kicking around for a while. Start by taking off these bumps on the bottom. And yeah, I think we can make that work and look good. No, I'm not a fan at all. You ditch that idea. Actually, without the horns, I think that could work. Especially if I can get the mohawk back on. There's champion number 1. So the horns shaved off and the mohawk over the top of his bucket helmet. And I think that works. Now to just do it again with this helmet and this guy. Start by savagely beheading him. Bearing in mind that we're trying to save as much of that mohawk. And also not damage his finger. It's probably done. It's gone. Found it. Okay, that's the conversions done and I'm happy with them. And I've popped a bit of green stuff to cover where the horns have been taken off and where the mohawks reattached to the helmets. All the quivers are on, even on the normal guys. So they'll be getting their sand basing. And in this adventure they're being joined by a couple of the Battlemasters Knights that I just picked up for cheap. Nowhere near as cool as sculpts, but just from the collector in me, for completion, wanted to get at least a couple painted in the army, and also this Tasman Sorcerers joining them. So they'll get my normal layer of PVA around the bottoms of the bases in the sand. You've seen it all before. Here we go. Okay, so one change from normal is now that all the glue is on my archers, I am going to apply some grit, which is normal, but because if I applied it model by model, I would always probably put 2 on the front, 1 on the back, and it'd look the same. I'm just going to get the grit, and I'm just going to throw it on there, and I hope for the best, I think. And maybe some models will have some, maybe some won't. And then we'll stick these guys in the sand as usual. Okay, these bases are now dry, and I've gone round and I'm just removing any sand from anywhere where it shouldn't be, like on the back of his foot there. It should just brush off. And these guys are going to get a coat of the Halfords Matte Black, along with their friends over there. Okay, so I'm going to leave this video here, and check out part 2 to see how I painted these guys up. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching. Bye.